Hey everybody. Hope you're doing well. Um, what are some things I wanted to address? Okay, so you know how I like to go through the comments and see you've got those who are just being smartasses and those who are hired to be smartasses. But I thought I would address a couple of things that have been mentioned in prior videos. That one where I was talking about your business and making a name for yourself by getting just all word of mouth or whatever. I was recently telling somebody about what I do. She's like, "What do you do anyway?" Because I go see her on a regular basis, and she's like, "What do you do anyway?" And I told her, and she was like, "That's incredible. Like, that is so cool." She says, "So, where do you get all your business? Like, where do you get your clients? Is it, where are you advertising? Where do you put up posters? Where do you put up flyers? Or, where do you publicly put up notices of what you do?" And I said, "I don't." She goes, "It's completely word of mouth." And I said, "Yes, yes." So, and then it just popped in my head this comment that somebody had just made the other day saying, "You say that you haven't advertised for your business, but you advertise in every video." And I was like, "Okay." Informing people of my specials and informing people of what I do, that's just professionalism. That's not advertisement. Advertisement is like going out in the public eye and saying, "This is what I do." But it's like posting up flyers in places. In my perspective anyway. You've got to let people know what's going. In fact, I feel like that's very transparent of me. A lot of places don't tell you what they charge, and they'll hide their prices. They'll be like, "I have this wonderful thing to offer." And then you go to their website and you're like, "Oh my gosh." Well, no wonder they didn't say the price. So for me, that's not advertising. That's just talking about myself. That's also sharing testimonials. And I share the testimonials because I think it helps other people see what they want to ask too, or what they want to get help with too. And it boosts their confidence in my abilities, which you need to have in order for things to really be effective and work for you. So it works for all of you just as much as it works for me. And it's just letting you know there's a special going on right now, or letting you know that this is what I do in case you're new to the channel. New to the channel, meaning a lot of times, sometimes it's just YouTube randomly found you. I don't know how that does happen sometimes, but again, it wasn't me advertising. It might have been YouTube's algorithm sending it out to somewhere, and thank God it hooked you, right? But a lot of times, it's people having been referred. I've heard all about you. Somebody told me to check out your channel, and I did, and I want to know more. And they don't know why I speak light language or whatever, which is really funny and leads to another point. And I won't do this, once I'm big enough to where I get like nothing but trolls and nothing but, people making smart ass remarks, then of course who cares what they have to say? But since I'm small enough, I can address some of these things. But some guy said, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's so, this guy was so clueless." But he says, it was in the celebrity video toward he was probably a celebrity. So at the end, he's like, "Do you have to be so dramatic? It's just tongues. I speak tongues," or something like that. I was like, I was just cracking up, just like, "What are you even talking about? Like, why are you judging me for being dramatic? You're probably an actor." So it just goes to show you how people project on you and they think that your stuff is their stuff or the other way around. So here's probably a narcissist, is putting his stuff on me, telling me that I'm dramatic with my light language. I was just like, "Dude, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm just connected with God. And if I feel like being grand, then I do. And if not, then I whisper. It's God channeling through me. It's none of my business what I do. And it shouldn't be any of yours. If you enjoy it, you watch it. And if not, you get out of here." You know, you shouldn't have a problem with what other people do. That's just your own insecurities and your own fears and your own stuff, people. Don't watch people you don't like. Don't sit there and go around picking on people. That's just bullying. And that's just stupid. Go find somebody that doesn't speak light language if that bothers you. Go find somebody, who I don't know, who I don't know, just whatever. If you don't like somebody that you're watching, don't be stupid. Don't comment. Don't say something to the person because you just look like an idiot. Seriously. You just look like somebody who's unhealed and, people feel bad for you. People who actually know the people that you're watching, they feel bad for you. They're like, what kind of person would have to say something to this person? Like, what? So don't be that person. I mean, you can make all the comments you want, but I'm just going to block you off my channel anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying, you know, and you're working for the dark side too, which is also proving a point that I often make. So I want to give you a couple of different scenarios, guys, to look at things kind of differently, because here's how we've kind of seen it. Okay. We've seen like this is us in our little good life in this little bubble, and we're not really affected by the stuff going on in other people's lives. Those people over there have demons because they're drinking and smoking and partying, and we could see that their life is really destructive. Or somebody looks like a witch, they have the demeanor that they look kind of wicked or something like that. That's kind of been playing in our society, kind of playing out in our society. But for the most, right, we're all for the most part, we're like all Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, all of us. And then there's just some random wicked person that we just kind of walk around on the street and act like that's the way our lives are right now. I had somebody say to me fairly recently something to the effect of, oh, I didn't realize until I had that thing happen that there was actually that could actually be a thing, that somebody could have a demon in them or whatever. And I had to laugh, like, what? because because here's the actual reality from the best I can put together of what we've figured out waking up in this crazy world that we're in. Because we know that a lot of us watching this channel right now know that we're in the Truman Show, and it's all just been created, and it's all just a big show, and we're being watched for our reaction. And the bad guys. Okay, so the Satanists and Luciferians, they're everywhere. There's probably 2 or 3 on every single block in all of America. They are everywhere. And especially all the celebrities, when they say they had to sell their soul to the devil for fame, they literally signed a contract signing their soul away. Now, in my celebrity talk, I tell them that's nonsense. The devil can't do that. Okay. You trump the devil if you can come into love. Okay. So that's another scam. The devil does nothing but lie and manipulate. And when I say the devil, I mean Lucifer and all the gods they have over there on the dark side, because there are a lot of gods that they worship. All of them grouped together, we just call the devil, okay? But here's the thing too. Way back in the time of Adam and Eve, Satan duped God. Satan was going to be this phenomenal, freaking awesome, like audio God in a way. He was like incredible with music. I mean, no wonder he's ruling the music industry. He was a master with beautiful music, and he was going to be used to help God bliss his human beings that he wanted to make like him. So he was like, I want to make my children just like me, and let's bliss them with all of the things they've ever wanted. Let's have their dreams come true and whatnot. And Satan got jealous and was just like, I ain't having any of that. I mean, he said all this in his mind. He was a good guy at first, but then he got really jealous. Like, why are you giving everything to them? Like, they're going to even be over me? Like, who are these people? Like, why are you giving them all of the everything? It's like I'm all of a sudden the stepchild now, and now I have to like sing my song to bliss all of them. I don't think so. So he fooled God, and he sang his song, but cursed everybody and gave them all egos. I mean, that's the roundabout way. Somebody could probably explain the story better. And I get that, I think, from Paul Wallace. And I've read books on the lost teachings of Jesus. I've been a Bible thumper. I've, watched Paul Wallace. He says that the Old Testament is nothing but aliens fighting over us, which makes a lot more sense because God turned into some really horrible, seemingly wicked, evil God is a punisher and rah, to all of a sudden, do, everything is love and light over in the New Testament. So anyway, all of this put a lot of puzzle pieces together for me as I did all this research, only to come to the conclusion that most Christians are actually practicing witchcraft and they are just completely oblivious. And it's all based on Plato. What they've got in the New Testament, it's all, you could all look it up and find it in Plato's teachings way a long time ago. And all the parables he uses, they've all been repeated through the ages. There's a lot of great wisdom in the Bible. I'm not saying that the Bible doesn't have, but people totally misconstrue it. They don't get it. And all these preachers and ministers are just preaching their little tune of it, their little tiny little note in the real scheme of things. And everybody's worshiping that little note. This is my note. And the other church over here, this is my note. This is my note, and they're all competing, it is all nonsense. And it's all just this organized notes, and imagine, since Satan's all about music, it's all like, yeah, sing this note, sing that note, sing that note. But, if we all look at the bigger picture, if we all start working on our unity with each other and dropping all the division, then boy, we have a beautiful song, all of us, all singing our own little notes, but in our own ways, but being accepting of others too. So we have Satanists or Luciferians or Nazis or whatever you want to call them. They're all different names, but all the same. Baal worshipers, Malak worshipers, whatever you want to call those nonsense beings, okay? You've got those people and pedophiles on like 2-3 people on every block in everywhere in every country. Don't think, oh, that's not in my country, because it is. It's everywhere. Everything that's happening to all of us is happening everywhere, you guys. Don't be naive and don't put your head in the clouds or head in the sand and say, it's not happening to me. It's not here. Yes, it is. It is. It's happening everywhere. And there are dumbs that have children being raped and killed all the time underneath the ground in every city, in every country, everywhere. It's still happening, but we've got a massive, we've done a massively awesome job of cleaning it out so far, but we have a lot of work left to do. It's just one feeling. So okay, now here's the thing that we don't know about the dark side and those that worship the dark side. They know how to use spells and curses. They know how to use energy like I do, but for the bad. They even use light language sometimes. They even use they use everything we use, but they just use it for evil. And they are jealous of us, that we're so compassionate and loving. And even though we've been pummeled by all this trauma in our lives, we've still risen above to be loving, kind, gentle people who treat animals with kindness and respect, and other human beings with kindness and respect. And they're like, who the hell do you think you are? Who do you think you are to have risen above it? We're just simply the ones who kept choosing love. That's it. They chose to feel like a victim, and so they're jealous of us. And they think they're superior, and they've been believing their own line of baloney, their own little note that they really want to grab onto and say, this is my note. Everybody needs to let go of their flipping notes and embrace the whole song, So all these guys have their little belief, there is no God, and I can do anything I want to and have no consequences. And I just laugh. I'm just like, okay, we'll see what happens with that. These guys, they got duped on it. It's just hilarious how these guys got duped by the dark side. They really are masters of liar. They're just the biggest liars and manipulators ever. So they trick and they brainwash and for cotton picking sake, they've got to MK Ultra people to make them do bad things. Like, how dumb can you be? Obviously it's all lies that you have to, make people do things, make people take the jab, make people, they got no power. All of that proves they have zero power. But here's the thing. We have a little bit of that devil in us. Every single one of us. So like I've said, we've got the devil and the angel on our shoulders in a way. And the devil is the ego, so-called, right? If you read Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, he does a great job explaining all of this. The thing he leaves out is that the thought forms and the egos are actually the devil. Okay, that's evil. The ego is evil, which is fine. It's had its place. All things work together for good. God has worked it to his advantage. Everything works to God's advantage eventually. So, but God has a lot of patience. The devil wants things right now, right now, right now. You're not walking off that car lot without buying that car, you know? God's like, oh, we'll see, you know? So this whole thing is so funny. So what you have is you have these people, these whiny babies who just feel sorry for themselves all the time, make themselves out to be victim. They have to torture poor little defenseless animals and little babies and rape little babies to try to get some loosh, which loosh is the bad energy that they feed off of and feast off of. Disgusting. Of course, they do it in hiding because they could never do it in plain sight. That's how stupid they are. They have to hide everywhere in every nook and cranny. Ooh, let me suck some blood off a child. And it's, let me eat some human flesh. Yes, I'm a cannibal. Somehow that's making me powerful or becoming part robot. Yes, that's going to make me just impenetrable where nothing can get me. Some of these things are just like baffling. It's baffling how people can be so twisted to believe some of these things, but they do. Okay. And they're cocky about it. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at it all. Laughing is an antidote to evil, guys. So please laugh with me. Please laugh with me. Because these guys, they have no power. They have no power anymore. We give them power by believing the little demons, the little invisible demons called the ego, that works within us all the time. Okay, every single one of you have probably already today, before you watch this video, have snapped at somebody, gotten angry at somebody, judged somebody, said something nasty to somebody, cut somebody off, were impatient with somebody. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. All the negative stuff. It's not negative to know that demons exist. What's negative is you listening to them and reacting in a negative way toward people. Do you get that? You know, to know that your house on fire is not negative. That is neutral. Everything in life is completely neutral. It's the judgment you put on it, or the suffering you put yourself through or put others through. That's the negative. So we always have these little voices. You might be with your husband and he's like, you're always cleaning the couch or something and he's eating his chips and they're getting all over the place. Well, that's a perfect opportunity for a little demon to whisper in your ear and say, who does he think he is? He doesn't appreciate you. He's got no respect. Look at him over there eating his potato chips like that. And this person, because they're unaware of the things that I teach on this channel, are oblivious to that. They don't know what's happening in their ear, or that it's not them, because that's they think it's their voice. So they buy into it because they're naive and they don't know. All the Satanists all know this. They're like masters of it. They're like putting out seances. Everybody's in a network. They all talk, they all chant, and they all use all this witchcraft to brainwash us and to make us stupid, to make us, clumsy, to make us get in accidents, to make, like, the list goes on, to make people jealous of us, to make people hate us, to make people not use our business, to be repelled by us. Even they use smell. I mean, they use everything. If you have to cheat that much, obviously what you've got isn't that valuable, okay? So they're constantly cheating, constantly trying to take shortcuts because they're idiots and they're powerless. So, but they know energy, and they've kept this from us for a long time. They know what's going on and we don't. That's why I'm here trying to tell you guys. We have to get as knowledgeable as they are, or at least get as confident in the energy work stuff You know what I mean? We got to know it's all playing out on an energetic level. You got to catch that voice whispering in your ear about your beautiful husband who loves you more than anything in the whole world. And you got to stop that voice and say, whoa, who are you? And get out of here. You know, we got to tell it off and tell it, do not return. I'm not listening to your shit. And be stern about it. You get out of here. And it's gone. And then you're all lovey-dovey with your husband again. Or maybe even in your mind's eye, you just wipe it all away. Just wipe it away. Use your imagination. That's what energy is. It's just wipe it away. I cannot tell you guys what I've been able to do and accomplish with wiping things away. And they hate that I'm telling you this. It's really that easy and it's really that simple, especially many of you are chosen ones, chosen by God to be here at this time to help make a difference. But you got to realize how powerful you are, you know? Wipe it away. You know, you hear that little devil talking to you in a negative way, trying to get you to influence you in a negative way, making you angry at your husband or start stomping around and throwing an attitude, you know? You just told that little demon by believing that it is you, come on in. You are me. I am you. But you got to put a separation there and say, something's trying to influence me to be angry at my husband. You got to catch that stuff. We've got to be more self-aware. The second it happens, you got to call it out for what it is. What do you think is more negative? Let's look at it from this perspective. You have two people going through their lives every day. Okay, there's one person like me who's going through the day, happy, singing, having a good time, playing around, and then something tries to trip me, and I'm like, little son of a gun, you little jerk. I stop everything and I go, woo, 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 or say the thing I need to say, blah, 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 blah. And then I go back to laughing and enjoying myself and having a great time. Nothing got hurt. Nothing got affected. I just put the thing in its place and put it where it belongs. Just like that. Because I know what's going on and I'm in my power. And I might get mad for a second, but it's gone. Nothing else getting triggered, nothing else getting hurt, nothing else happening that's negative, right? And that may happen several times throughout the day, maybe 5 times. Or, something bigger might happen. Somebody goes to call and they say something nasty or something like that. That's never happened, but let's just say, now all of a sudden I'm dealing with this nasty person on the phone or something like that, And so I'm just like, the normal person would get hit by that. And the normal person in comparison, they would go through something like the way that I would handle a nasty phone call or something is get off the phone and be like, you son of a gun. Like I would get angry at the demons. You did this, da, 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 da. I'd probably had it off before it ever happened, but I'm just saying, if it gets to that point where it actually did something to me, where that got me worked up, I'd get really worked up. I'd get really mad, but I would do something to that demon and whoever sent the demon and whoever sent that one. I'd go right up the chain, grab it right at its roots, and I would throw it into the sacred fire. And I hunt them down. And I even go after the ones that aren't even doing anything to me. If they're doing anything to my daily boosters, if they're doing anything to my friends, if they're doing anything to anybody that I know is a kind, loving person, they're freaking through. Okay? So I am saving everybody else's asses all over the world all the time, hours of it. And I feel great and I feel empowered and I'm kicking their ass. And every single one of us can be doing that. I know others like me who are doing this too. Thank you. If you're one of those, thank you. Now, here's this person over here, a different life, and they're kind of oblivious. Maybe they kind of know demons exist. Maybe they kind of know this, that, and the other thing. They have all this stuff happen. And instead of being like empowered or aware, they actually take that on as their persona. Oh, I woke up depressed. And I don't know what to do. I can barely make breakfast. I just want to go back to bed. All of this negative, right? This is going on for hours because then it turns into, I don't even know if I like my friends anymore. And then your dog or your cat does something. Get out of my way. Gosh. Your neighbor talks to you in a certain way. Gee, my whole world is shit. Oh, so everything is just terrible. Why am I've been this way my whole life, and I always attract this kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on. And then your husband comes home. Why don't you make dinner for a change? And it goes on and on and on and on. And maybe they might try to meditate, but they can't quiet their mind. Maybe they try to go for a walk, but they end up getting pissed off that somebody left their garbage out, or whatever. It's just, and that is like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of negativity and no relief from it because they're believing all of it. The demon is them. They are every thought that demon is giving them. They're believing it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I am depressed. It's true. I always attract this stuff into my life. It's true. My husband sucks. I chose the wrong guy. He doesn't have any kind of he's not grateful for me at all. It's true. All your friends will betray you. It's true. Which life is more negative? Which life is more negative? Or maybe this person kind of goes out when they're in the public, they put on a face and hi, everybody. Hi. It's and they get in their car. Brr, 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 brr. So it's much healthier if you can recognize the evil when it's there, slough it off, laugh it off even, wipe it away, or do some kind of like energy work or whatever you do, light language, and have it be done and to actually be in a happy mood and to actually be happy and to truly slough stuff off and not let it get to you. Or believing all this stuff, pretending that you're happy, putting on a happy face, and going through your day just miserable. I don't deserve that. How could that person actually forgive me? How after everything, it's blah, 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 blah. This person may be going like this, but it's very quick. It's a quick dip. So for the most part, they're up here. They'll go, all right. And they won't even go down that far. It goes down and they, I see you, and they get right back up again. This person is going little thing by little thing by little thing. That's if they even started up there. They usually start about right here. Little thing by little thing by little thing by little thing. And they stay down here all day, even for days, believing the demon, becoming the demon. Not even coming up here. Except if they're faking it. So now, as we start to get to where we're masters, that's when we can stay present. But a reality check, people, it's pretty rare that somebody actually masters being present. That's why meditation is so important. So we learn to quiet our mind. I'm present a lot, but I get pulled into thinking. I get pulled into distractions. I get pulled into things like fairly frequently. If you can stay consistent and staying present in the moment, you'll enlighten. If you enlighten, you're not affected by anything. But it truly takes enlightenment. You can't just ignore your way out of it. They'll get you into car accidents. They'll get you into they poisoned our water. They've poisoned our food. They've poisoned everything about our lives to try to kill us off. Whiny little brats. What are they going to do when they're left with each other? Talk about things getting ugly. Then they'll all start. Then when they have nobody else to pick on out there, none of the happy people, all the happy people are gone. Then they're going to be around each other and be like, uh-oh. Then they're going to start turning on each other, which is exactly what's happening right now because we've already won this thing. It's just the little sniveling, whiny little brats that are left. It's the ones that do or die. I'm going to hold on to this old belief, this little note I have. Ooh. Try some different notes, you know? Try opening up your plethora of tones, okay? Because there's a beautiful song going on that you could actually enjoy. So I don't know if that helps put things in perspective, but we got to be more aware. We got to be more aware of our power, of our ability to slough it all off and to laugh it all off and to speak light language. Why not play light language, even if it feels dramatic? Oh, if I ever met that guy, I would just be like, why did I ever even care what you had to say? Because anybody who would bother to make a comment like that to somebody, whether they're a troll or not, they're not worth their opinion. Anybody being negative, just trying to put their stuff on you, they're not even worth knowing. They're not worth nothing. So they're just filling up space in that moment until they heal and they stop complaining and they stop putting comments on people's channels and stuff. Then just go heal. Just go. We don't have time for this. We're fighting a war right now. Okay? Just go heal. Just get out of here. Just go heal. Lord. So yeah, we are in crazy times right now, but please don't put your head in the sand and try to act like talking about this stuff is something negative or something. It's reality. It's happening to us all the time. And unless you're aware of it, you're going to perpetuate the negativity. And you're the one making the negativity, not me, not somebody who's trying to bring people's awareness to it so that they can fight back. And those of you who say, well, you should only focus on the good, focus on the good. We do need to focus on the good, but you also got to put evil in its place. At least laugh when that stuff comes up. At least. You got to do something. Otherwise, you're letting those demons just run after other people too. They're running after you. They're running after your animals. They're running after your neighbors. They don't stop. You can stop them. So are you going to stick your head in the sand and say, I only listen to good, positive, happy, happy. Only listen to good, positive, happy, happy. Why not just boom, knock it out? Just knock it out. Only takes a second. Don't go negative. Don't be like, oh, I can't believe they're coming after me. Why don't they stop already? You don't have to go there. It does get bothersome sometimes, but I mean, they have to work awfully hard. I mean, think of all the energy that they expend to try to make you miserable, and they're not even succeeding. Some of these seance groups and stuff, they'll just put it in the most extravagant ceremony and put all this, use a basket and all this stuff. And they'll all chant these words. It's extravagant what they go through to just try to make somebody die or to try to make somebody have an accident or something bad happen to them or whatever, or steal their blessings. I want their blessings. Oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, I want your blessings. It's so ridiculous. It's so stupid. But they do this. They totally do this to try to rob all these good people of what the good people deserve and God wanted them to have in the first place. I was just talking to God yesterday. I was like, dude, I cannot wait to see what this place is like. Because we're going to get to see this. We're going to get to see what this earth was supposed to be if Satan would have actually gone along with the plan. If Satan would have just been like, God, I would love to participate in this. I would love to bless your children. Law, I mean, think of the impact he could have made. He would have been like our hero today. We probably would have been like, oh, Satan, that was just, the most beautiful song we've ever heard. We cry every time we hear it. But instead, of course, he lets his ego get to him and he had to mess everything up. But we're coming back to the original intention that God set for us. God made this whole entire earth to serve us. Every bug, every blade of grass, every star in the sky, every cloud in the sky, the air we breathe, every single thing that exists in nature is there to serve us. That's how God made it. Read the Ringing Cedars series that talks about Anastasia. She's an enlightened being that lived in Russia, in the forests of Russia. I talked about her last year a lot. But she'll tell you. She'll tell you. And I've been enlightened and I know what it's like to be there. And you can be amongst all of the stuff that's going on. You can be in complete and total chaos all around you and not even care at all. Like you're not even aware of it. You could totally care less. You're just blissed out in your own state of enlightenment. That's what it's going to be for us. We may still be here. We may still be amongst it, but we're not affected by it and we don't even really pay much attention to it at all. We're just happy. We're just offering our happy vibration. We're just smiling and enjoying the beautiful sun and the birds chirping and all the things we enjoy. They're smelling the stench. They're getting into the fights and they're creating it all for themselves by being in this negative energy and all those that they've sucked into it, into believing all that too. It's positive to become aware. It's positive to shift your focus from what they're doing to you back to happiness. It's positive to laugh at it. It's positive to see it for what it is, separate it from you, and then have a loving exchange with your husband when you were about to attack him. It's positive to see all of this and to not let it affect you and to become more powerful all the time, to where your confidence boosts all the time, that you've got this, that you're protected, that God's got your back, and that you can just rest. And if a fly comes around, just swat it away, you know? So, yeah, I addressed a lot right there, didn't I? Okay, well, let's get to some of these questions. And please, if you guys have any questions about anything that I say, you can always write me at amy@awakenalliance.org. If it's a good enough question, I might make a video on it, or if you put it in the comments of the video down beneath, then everybody can read my response to that, and everybody can learn from it. So don't be shy about asking questions. You're not going to look stupid. I'm not going to make you feel stupid. So, I mean, unless you deserve it. I'm just saying, don't be a jackass. And then I'll probably just hide you from the channel. So I'm not even going to bother to even, I might make a comment or two to see if you're intelligent. But if you keep responding stupid, I'm just like, done. Just hide the person off the channel. So, but please feel like asking me whatever you want to. Okay. And I've always said this like for years, but I haven't said it for a while. If you guys have any general questions to ask me, let me know and I might do a video on it, or I might add it to one of these talks at the beginning of these Ask Amy's. So yeah. Okay. Gonna get my magnifying glass. I got that Midnight Rider book. Derek, if you're watching my channel, it sucks. It's a great book, but dude, you have to have a magnifying glass to read everything. It's so tiny. The print is so tiny. I'm like, this is like impossible to read. And there's so many spaces in between. It's like, there's not like paragraphs. It's like, just, I don't know, just looking at it at a quick glance, I was like, and he assumes that you know a lot. Just saying. Like, he makes these sarcastic remarks and stuff, but being that you can't see his facial features, or you can't see that he's joking, or you can't see that he's being sarcastic, he doesn't realize that the reader, it might take him literally. And so it's kind of confusing. You're like, is he joking there? Or does he mean what he said? Because I don't, like, what? Right. That's just right from the start. That's just from reading like the very first couple pages. It's confusing and it's so tiny. But I guess people who have incredible eyes, or people who are willing to take a magnifying glass through the whole thing, or people who have, it's got great information. I'm sure it's got some really great information. But Derek, please make a large print, or at least a regular print, that's easier to read, please. Because I want the information really badly. I want to learn. I want to see all that stuff, but I can't. If it's so tiny, an ant would have a good time reading it. It's so small. Anyway, I'm sure it's a great book with some great information, and now I've paid all that money just to not be able to read it because it's so damn tiny. And I refuse to wear glasses because it would ruin my eyes even more. So it's not normal print. It's smaller than a normal book. I can read a normal book. You guys know I read all the time. It is tiny print. I don't know why in the world he did that, because the book is really thin. The book is really thin. I mean, why not make a thick book? As long as he's going to make it big anyway, make it thick and big. I don't know. Why would you want it thin and big? I don't know. Derek, please make another version with larger letters, please. I really want to read the information. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. But Midnight Rider, I would recommend it for the information, but maybe wait till a larger version comes out. Unless you're okay with that, or you have exceptional eyes. All right. All right, let's put up the Ghost Star cards. Well, okay. I didn't mean to do that. Stay. Stay. Why? What are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? Okay. Can you guys be helpful, please? See, even this is demons. It really is, guys. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right, let's use another one. There. Ah. Okay, so we're gonna do this one using the Body Talk deck. What do you think of all this? What do you think of all this, honey? Yeah. Okay, 6248. Oh yeah, so I wanted to say this real quick too. Guys, please read the description of the things that I offer on my services page, please. Please read it and take it literally. The daily boost tells you what's in the daily boost, exactly what's in the daily boost. If it's not on that list for being offered as the daily boost, I don't do that as part of the daily boost, okay? Only what's listed on there. And like somebody ordered a True Love check-in when they didn't even know who their person was. Well, that's not the True Love check-in. The True Love check-in checks on your true love. It tells you what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and what they're doing about your connection, and what they're planning for the future. It lists all of this specifically in the description. And somebody still ordered it and said, I don't know who my person is, and I'm wondering about them, and you're about to hear their question here. But I had to tell them this isn't a true love check-in. If you read the description, it's not a true love check-in. A true love check-in, you have to know the person, and then I tell you all about the person. And I also say, don't ask any questions with the true love check-in. I just do the spread, and I'll tell you what the spread is, but I just do the spread. Sometimes people will try to ask a question. I'm like, that's not, it says in the description to please don't ask me any questions. I just do the spread, and I do a light language blissing about it. So you guys, please Take me literally, like read the full description. Like, I don't know if you guys are like in a hurry or like you're just like, oh, I just want to order it real quick, but please don't do that to me. Go actually read it very thoroughly, just really read it, because I took the time and energy to put in there everything that it needs to say. So please don't order anything unless you know what you're ordering, because anyway. So I told this person this is an Ask Amy Q&A. So if you're going to ask a question about somebody you don't know yet or anything, then that would just be a question that you'd be asking on one of these, or an Ask Amy audio, because then I could leave an audio message and say the same thing. So so we are going to address it here. Says, I've been single from August of 2023. I would like to know if I will be meeting my divine counterpart soon, as I've been manifesting through all the full moon cycles. Well, that's good. I feel there are energies holding me back from meeting my divine counterpart. Oh gosh, yes. Like the dark side loves stopping true love from coming together. Like that's like their main focus, because they know that once we come together with our true love counterparts, like, some serious stuff starts happening. Yeah, see, we can't talk. They don't want us to talk. And you got to pay attention to those subtle things too, because that was like demons messing with my throat. So, oh, and did you notice? No coincidence. What was the box that kept falling and wouldn't be upright? It was the ghoster cards, the divine masculine ghoster cards. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? No coincidence there. So yes. And I just looked at the word surrender. When you look at certain words, when you're, reading for somebody, those words are significant. There are no mistakes. I see readers sometimes on YouTube stumble on their words and they'll apologize. I'm like, don't apologize. Like that was on purpose. Like that word that came out was the right word. That you got to play with that. You got to use that, because that was meant to come out of your mouth. I'll give you a quick example, guys. A quick example. I was doing a blissing. I was talking to a friend and I was doing a blissing. And then I said, what's keeping the RV? Like what in the world is happening with the RV? And I started to do light language on it. And I hiccuped a couple times. And I thought, well, that's really weird. The normal person would have dismissed that and thought, oh, well, you just had a carbonated drink or something. Maybe it's just a weird. And I said, no, something's off. Like there's something about that hiccup and the fact that there were two of them. So I pay attention. What I try to get you guys to do too is pay attention, because I hiccuped twice and then I said, it's the 800 number. Somehow the 800 number, they were able to hook it up. Like instead of it going to the QS or going through the QFS system, they had it hooked up to some kind of old system. I don't know how they were able to do that, but yeah, they tried to sabotage the 800 number thing. That's the message I got. And then I got the confirmation just a couple hours after that. I went on, one of the channels where we all get our news and things, and I read this article. I about dropped my phone. I started to read, and it said there was a hiccup. There was a hiccup with the RV that's held the RV back. And then it said, yeah, it was a small hiccup. So they said hiccup twice, and I hiccuped twice. And then they said something about the 800 number should be coming out soon. They didn't say that the problem was the 800 number, but they did talk about it in there. And they said the 800 number should be coming out soon. And I just had to laugh. I was like, holy cow. Good thing I paid attention, because I did a blissing on it and I hooked it up to the proper system. I hooked it up to the QFS so that it wasn't doing what they were doing with it. So did I make a difference in this? I really think so. I think we all do when we catch those things and pay attention and we do a prayer or we do our blissing or we do an affirmation. Yes, our energy, absolutely. Do you guys remember back when I was working on CERN, do you guys remember everybody's electricity going out and their refrigerators blowing and somebody's TV came unplugged and all kinds of crazy stuff happened? We're so much more powerful than we know. So getting back to the reading, yep, there's definitely black magic. But like I said, I was looking over at the word surrender. So I feel like part of the reason is that you feel like you need somebody. I mean, you said that it's been a year. It's been not even a year. And you're acting like that's a problem. It's been like 15 years for me. But I'm not seeing it as a problem because it's all supposed to be just as it is. And it would be at certain points in your life that it would have been a distraction. So sometimes you have to realize that there's divine timing in everything and everything happens when it should. So I think you're being told to surrender the whole thing, to quit thinking that why do you think you need a partner? What do you need a partner for? What are they going to do that you can't do for yourself? You can do everything without the other person. It's not about needing another person to do something for you. We should all become like autonomical. And why can't I say the word? We should be able to operate independently and do whatever the other person could do for ourselves. If both people come together whole like that, like I can do my laundry, I can do my dishes, I can pay my bills, I can have sex, I can, whatever it is, if every single one of your needs you can satisfy by yourself on your own, when you come together with somebody, it's way more powerful. You choose each other. It's not, I need you and I'm desperate for money, so be with me, please. That's what karmics do. Karmics need a reputation. They need to look good. They need to be more famous. They need to whatever. So they lie, they cheat, they steal, they manipulate, they con the other person into being with them. But this is a whole other can of worms. True love counterparts are power couples. They come together whole people. And they, the masculines, they've got a lot of catching up to do for a while. But man, once they catch up to the divine feminine, they're ready to be with her. They're pretty tough. They're pretty emotionally intelligent. They grow up pretty quick sometimes, and it can be amazing how they show up. Just like in the movies. But you have to get all the divine feminines listening right now that are like, where's my guy? Where's my guy? There's something you're not providing for yourself. You need to provide whatever that thing is. A feeling of safety, a feeling of abundance, whatever it is. Take care of yourself. This is your opportunity to set your life on track the way you want it, with nobody else's influence. You get to pick your dream right now. You get to say, I want to have a farm. I want to live on the ocean, or I want to live in the woods, or I want to be on a mountaintop somewhere in Siberia. Whatever your dream is, you can honor that right now, and you can make headway going towards that right now. When you have a partner, things start to shift and start to change. You start to compromise. So do they. It becomes a we thing. It's different. So honor this position that you're in and actually start going toward your dream, not anybody else's or what you think he'd like. Don't consider anybody else. Just pursue what you want, and maybe they'll find your life pretty darn exciting. Just like just the romantic comedies are just so on point, because you get to the point where one of them lives in a small town, one of them lives in the city. One of them is going to ultimately sacrifice something, because whoever's in the city usually is the one who's got some kind of ego. I need more money. I need more fame. I haven't made the magazine yet. I haven't made the partner and the firm and whatever else. It's all ego based. But once the masculine drops into his heart, Then he meets the feminine where she's at in the small town or somewhere that's insignificant, somewhere that's, you know, about heart, about connection, about love. So go make that life, that inspiring, love-filled, heart-filled life, and make room for your masculine in it. But don't sit around waiting for somebody, and do not, see it as a negative to not be with someone. See all the do my exercise, thank you God for my misery, and see all the benefits and advantages as to how it's so perfect that you're by yourself. If you're going through the RV or whatever, there's a lot of good reasons not to have somebody, going through that, because you're going to have to make a lot of decisions on your own. You're going to have to figure out what kind of humanitarian projects you want to do and get involved with, where you want to live, and maybe another country, maybe, but you want to decide all that from your heart. And especially if you're a chosen one, God doesn't want anybody interfering with that. He's going to keep you single so that you do what you ought to, and you're getting on your path that you're here to do. Somebody else would have just taken you out. They're just a distraction sometimes. They really are. So embrace this time of being alone and surrender. Let it go. Just say, I'm single. I'm single and I'm accepting it. And it's okay. Being with somebody does not make you happy. Being with somebody, you have a 50-50 chance that it be a happy thing or it be a miserable thing. They've done studies. Are people happier being single, or are they happier being married? It's a crapshoot. It's a 50-50 crapshoot. If you're going to be married to somebody, you better pick a person who's really good to you and who gets you, who really gets you deeply, and who is wanting to learn and grow, and they can apologize, and they can say their piece, and they can do so peaceably, and they can, come to the table with, how do we learn and grow as a team? No more narcissistic relationships and making babies with narcissists. That's only perpetuating the dark side. So hold out, be the queen that holds out for the perfect person to come at the perfect time in the perfect way. They don't have to be perfect. They have to be perfect for you. But hold out for that person and make yourself happy right where you are. And if you're not happy right where you are, don't make it about the guy. Make it about your location. Make it about what you're doing, what you're not doing. What is it that you're avoiding pursuing? What do you think that this guy is going to bring into your life that you don't have? What is it? What's this void that somehow he's going to fill? Fill the void. So, and I feel that you definitely have somebody coming through, maybe even within 2 months, something like that. And don't take any kind of prediction that I make and twist it around and just sit there on your hands for 2 months waiting for some guy to show up. That's not going to work. That guy's not going to show up, and he's not going to show up in 2 months. You got to do the work on yourself. You got to surrender, like I was just saying. If I give you guys instructions in these readings, you have to do the instructions to have the result that I predict, if that makes sense. You don't just, you can't just skip from here to there to have the result. Just do nothing for the 2 months. If spirit is saying you need to surrender, then you work your butt off for 2 months surrendering, then you get your prize. But don't sit there and go, if I give you advice and say, well, you need to let go and you need to do that and you need to get your job and pursue this and create a team and do all these other things that you've been putting off or whatever. If I give you these assignments and I say, if you do, here we go, in 3 months, blah, 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 then, you have to do the assignment in order to get the prize. So, and you've got these dark people, dark force people, these wicked people who are stomping all over our plans all the time, putting us in time loops, trying to sabotage us at every turn, trying to mess with our partner's brain, trying to get them all mixed up and confused, and them fall for seduction, and them fall for illusions, and they're not aware, and they, I mean, it just goes on and on. So the best we can do is keep, well, you're doing the right thing with the moon cycle thing. I don't do that, but people do that with success. It does help. I'm glad you're aware of that, because the dark side is, and they use it. So yeah, we need to be aware of these things that they use, so that we know, because that's, they're using a universal law that God created against him, but we need to be using it to our advantage to be creators like God. So anyway, so I think that's good what you're doing. I would keep a positive attitude about it, and I would just embrace being single completely, and then the guy will come. Oh, I think he's more polite than you're used to. Um, he's kind of, and they talk about good guys. If there's a guy who claims like, I'm such a good guy, but all these girls always want to go for the bad guy, they're usually lying. Those supposed good guys are usually people pleasers, and they're not good. They're not good. They're really kind, loving people that are actually really genuine, and they do know how to have good boundaries, and they are actually quite authentic. Those guys are usually married. Those are the ones you want. Those are definitely the ones you want. So anyway, so don't tell me, you guys who are listening, oh, you guys only want the bad guys. That is not true. And it's not true that you're a good guy either, because you probably got issues with boundaries and people pleasing. I bet you anything. Okay. So, but he does seem like a good guy, like a genuine kind, like an authentic good guy. He seems polite and sweet and kind. And I think it's going to take some getting used to on your part. I think that you haven't been treated that well. I mean, he kind of sounds like he could be a soulmate. Now, if you want to look back and go through my playlist and look for the video, different types of true love. Look up different types of true love, and you'll see what a soulmate is versus like a twin flame or something. So somebody very well suited to you, I just heard. Somebody very well suited to you is coming. And will your business be successful? Yes. But you've got to believe in yourself and assert yourself. You got to challenge yourself. Push past your comfort zone. Okay. 6249. 6249. Okay. So I'm just gonna get into it for you and just kind of skip the story, but basically the gist is this this woman wanted a man years ago, didn't get it reciprocated. And then he went out with somebody else and married them. So she was like, excuse me? So when things like that happen, the first thing that pops in my head is, obviously it was not meant to be. As much as you liked that person, you would have married that person and had those epiphanies that you have in those romantic comedies where you thought that you found the perfect person for you, but then you can't stand so many things about them and the decisions that they make, and you realize how superficial they are, and all these things about them that you just would have been like, oh my gosh, this so is not the guy for me. So you were spared. You were spared from a mismatch. Now, sometimes when we're that attracted to somebody, it could be a hint or a clue as to what's coming for us still. So let's say you always like brunettes, and that's your type. well, maybe this new guy really gets you going and he's blonde and you're just like, wow, I've never really even liked a blonde before. This is different. This is cool. And then you fall so hard for him, obviously, like you did, and thought he is like the complete package. Oh my gosh, he's just so incredible. But it wasn't about that person. It's about them being blonde or them having a certain lifestyle or them having a certain income level them living in a certain neighborhood or being a certain nationality or some kind of thing like that, to where it opens you up to this next person that's coming down your life, down the pipe. And if you wouldn't have been exposed to the first one and fallen so hard for that first one, you wouldn't have been open to the next one that's going to have some kind of trait or something that you're ready for now. I guess one example is I used to be very against fishing. I used to just, I didn't think much of it. I thought fish were gross. Like I never would have wanted to handle them. I didn't have any respect for I just thought it was a dirty, grubby thing people do out in fishing boats and ugh. So I married a guy we had this incredible life together in some aspects. And we got up fishing 4:30 in the morning on a fairly regular basis, at least once a week. And we had our own boat and we had our own equipment, and I was taught everything about it. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. As much as, even though we were killing them and whatnot, and I don't like that now, but at the time, I really, developed a love for it, and to be out in nature and to be out on the water. And I learned how to drive a boat and everything about fishing and everything. Like I became really good at it. And it was a bonding experience. It was really great. So if another guy were to come into my life and he's like, say he's somebody who fishes, then all of a sudden now I'm like, oh, really? That is so cool. Tell me more about it. Where do you go? What kind of boat do you have? Blah, 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 and I'd be open to it. Whereas the person that I was before, if I would have jumped right to this other guy, I would have been really resistant to it. And I would have just been, I don't know, that's not the life for me. And I don't know if that's, you know what I mean? So he could be just totally acclimating you to getting you ready for another guy. So that's where the exercise, thank you, God, for my misery, comes in really handy, because you write down, thank you, God, that I lost the man of my dreams, and then you write all the benefits and advantages as to why that was actually perfect. Anything that you feel like in life went wrong or wasn't fair, thank you, God, that, that we've been through, that we've woken up to all the terrors of this society, that we've woken up to all, thank you, God, that I've woken up to the worst nightmare of my life. Write down all the benefits and advantages as to why that's actually a perfect thing for you. And it helps you to see why your higher self has put you through that in the first place. Like it really puts perspective on the whole situation. And it takes you out of that victimhood, that it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been that way kind of thing. I had a guy that I really liked once too, and I thought he liked me back, but he but he ended up making fun of me and saying rude things about me, and maybe he was protecting his fragile ego, maybe he was insecure. Apparently he wants to say something to me. But he was really quite mean to me, and he really didn't give me a chance. Then I find out that he had a baby with another girl right around the same time, and married her, and was just happy as can be. And she was really ugly in my eyes. We all have a different perspective on it, but she was really ugly and frumpy and way less attractive than I was. So I was like, what in the world was that? Like that was like one of those things that had me scratching my head forever. Like, why did that even happen? Like, and why didn't he give me a chance? And why? I mean, maybe he knew that he'd already gotten her pregnant, and he was trying to be like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And was trying to push me away so that I wasn't an option. because he was trying to make peace with it in his head that he had this girl pregnant, blah, blah, blah. We never know. We never know why these things happen. So we can't take them personally unless we decide to take them, personally. So let me do a blissing. Hawashi na waha eke. Oh. Oh. And if he was a true love counterpart, the reason that they go with the Jezebel being the one that tempted them is because they are very manipulative and very tricky, and they know how to pretend that they're a really great person and all of that. They dupe them. They totally trick and dupe them, manipulate them, and then they use them. So if that was a real true love, then I'm sure he got his. They end up suffering with that person and being told what to do all the time. And, they don't like them for the right reasons. They like them because they provide a steady life or stability somehow, or they do as they say, they want somebody to boss around. So, yeah, so it's just they're when they do that, they're just weak and cowardly, and they're just insecure. So they settle for somebody that they wouldn't, they feel like they wouldn't be as devastated to lose. When it comes to you, it's like, oh my gosh, if he were to lose you, it would just be so devastating. So they get scared and they want to go, toward the other person. They'll act like a player with you and then get serious with somebody else, but it's not because the somebody else was better. It's because the somebody else was easier and not gonna hurt them or annihilate them like you would. I just want to check and see what he thinks about you right now. He misses you. Oh, wow. Interesting. Wow. Huh? Huh. Very interesting. Okay. Well, he thought of you as very grounded, mature, and like you've got it all. This was his opinion of you. So I told you. He thought that you were just absolutely. Look up the meaning of the Queen of Pentacles. He thought you didn't need him. Some really insecure guys, they feel like they need you to need them. But that's when they're hunting for the wrong person. Your person shouldn't have to need you. You both should be powerful within yourselves and not need anybody. You can complement each other's lives, but you don't need to need that person or need that person to need you. You know what I mean? So he felt like you didn't need him. You have it all right here. The Queen of Pentacles. I can guarantee you whoever he was with wouldn't be the Queen of Pentacles. And he regrets keeping secrets, and he regrets going after the lover. That's really in his mind right now. Right now, as you're watching this, he's thinking, I really regret that. I really regret keeping. He was probably with her. Maybe you think that you guys broke up and he went with her and married her. He could have been with her all along, is what it seems like. He really regrets it, though. Why does he regret it? Think about it. Why does he regret it? Because you're the Queen of Pentacles. Because you had everything he wanted. You were mature. You were kind, compassionate. He wanted that new beginning with you. So he regrets going down the wrong road. And he regrets keeping some kind of a lover as a secret. He also misses you, and he misses talking to you with the Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. He feels like he's missing out on your life. And the Page of Cups with the Knight of Swords, he wants to say something sweet to you. And it's like he wants to come rushing in and say something like, save the day or something. Like the Knight of Swords is like, he'll say anything to get your attention. He might be a blubbering idiot when he comes forward, but he wants to say something sweet to you. So his overall energy, I mean, he feels he was too immature for you. You have two pages here. In fact, I don't even see a man here at all. There is no man here. There is no knight. There's no king, no nothing. He was insecure, just like I said. He was insecure with the Page of Wands and the ouch, the Eight of Pentacles. I'm getting a headache. Ouch. Interesting. And I look up at the devil card, the devil with the nine of swords. He may have had an addiction. Something about the devil having a hold on him, and he didn't feel like he could overcome that. So he was afraid that you would get rid of him for that thing, whatever that was. Yeah, the page of wands with the eight of pentacles, like really wanting to put in the effort to make some new beginning happen with you. Still in the future, he's trying not to worry about the karmic. I bet you anything. And so many karmics are black magic witches. Well, I mean, either consciously or subconsciously, they're like, a lot of them are actually practicing black magic for real, like ceremonies and stuff, and lighting candles, and they call it household witchcraft. And it looks like she could definitely be doing, like, he's aware that she does that kind of thing. So he's like worried about her. He's also trying not to worry about any kind of drama and wants to go forward into a new life with you because he finds you incredibly attractive and almost wants to sneak away with you like this in the night and get you away from that karmic person that seduced him. So he still may be an option for you. He's praying for a miracle. That's a new beginning. That's a new beginning. That could be an apology, a proposal. He's starting to love himself more. And yeah, he wants a miracle to happen for you guys. Yeah, he was insecure. Just he lied and was insecure. This is why we should never take things personally. Never. We just don't know. This is why you come to somebody like me who's watched this stuff for so many years that I know this stuff, because it's like, no, no, feminines, feminines, you got to stop beating yourselves up. All of you, stop beating yourselves up. If your guy isn't talking to you, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. It's all them and their insecurity and getting duped by a Jezebel. A lot of times, maybe even succubuses that aren't even, they feed off of that energy. They leech off of it. So you got to let these guys go through their lessons. And to gain some self-esteem and to, you know, shrug off other people's opinions and shrug off the Jezebel and realize what's really important and follow his heart. It takes them a long time sometimes to come to that. And sometimes they never get to be with their feminine. So, but he really regrets losing you. He misses you a lot. So do not be fooled. You just have to change the story around in your mind. You gotta switch it around to where you're not listening to that demon that's whispering in your ear, trying to tell you that something was wrong with you, that he didn't choose you. You just didn't know better at the time. But look at him. I mean, he's miserable right now. He's miserable, and I'm getting a headache, so they really don't want you to know this. So let me do a blissing to clear that and get rid of that black magic out of that situation. And yeah, let's have the angels start speaking louder than those demons that are speaking in both of your ears. How was she no why? Oh, pamama ano ta tansa e o shi to sa ta pe ma ona toron ta te ten shi e ko na ta in to shi ko sa wa. Ah, okay, well, good luck. As with everything, you gotta let it go. You gotta just surrender it. Do the thank you God for my misery exercise with it, make peace with it, and whoever comes forth. I mean, you sound a lot like me, like you've got suitors straggling from years back and who've never done a thing, but they're there. You never know. Maybe one of those people have taken 30, 20 years to mature or whatever. I don't know how long it's been for you, but you just never know when somebody from the past has grown up enough or matured enough that they actually go for what they deserve and they forget everybody else and they just do what they want from their heart. And that can happen any moment with any of these guys that you've been with. So, and it doesn't take, I mean, this can be like a stranger you met 10 years ago, a stranger you met a year ago, or whatever, and it's taken them that much time to kind of get their life straight the way they want it, and to be living in integrity and being an authentic person who can communicate from the heart. It takes them a while sometimes to get to you. So just know it's not you, and just keep working on yourself and healing your insecurities that made you think that in the first place, you know? So, Hawaii shishi na tu 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 popo huma ahai na tu Hawaii shishi na tu kai. Oh, oh, oh. I'm pulling out all the black magic out from all the black magic that's being done on all true love couples. Tua shishi and shit, trying to keep them insecure. They're both the demons are trying to make them insecure from totally different angles. They're trying to make the masculines feel like, well, I couldn't do anything after everything I've done to her or ignored her for all this long. I can't do anything now, which is a lie, because all you have to do is say, hey, sorry, I'd like to get to know you now. It's really quite easy. And it doesn't even have to become a romantic thing either. It could just become a friendship or whatever. But they get so in their heads about it that they just paralyze themselves. And then over here, you've got the feminines that are insecure that something's wrong with them. What's wrong with me? None of these guys will date me, and we're crazy about each other. I can feel it. I know it. Like, why aren't they doing anything? What is it? Or is it's always the pretty girl, but it's the girl that does the witchcraft? Maybe your pretty looks are having to do with witchcraft. Who knows? Some of them. But yeah, and they even put spells, these Jezebels put spells on these guys to make them love them. You will never feel loved if you're putting a spell on somebody to make them love you. Of course you'll feel incredibly insecure with that person because they don't love you. You made them love you with some kind of hocus pocus. So I'm speaking to all these people and all these different people at the same time. Anyway, good luck and let me know how that goes. Yeah. All right. I gotta get going on some of these. I'm spending a lot of time on each of you. Okay, 6250. 6250. She says, hey, Amy and everyone, I've got 3 questions. I would like to get feedback from my spirit guides or anything they would like for me to know. Oh, cool. Okay. One step at a time, they just told me. You don't need to know the future. Just go one step at a time. And then you don't have to know all the answers. And they said that get your head in a mindset of being much, much more abundant than you are. And start thinking that way, because you've got to figure out what people you can trust and what people you can't, and start like acting like you won the lottery today, and start writing down what all you're going to do when you get that money. Like start saying, I'm going to give some to this and some to that, and I'll talk to this person, I will not talk to that person. And just know maybe where you're going to move, where you're going to go, because it feels like a lot of shifts are coming soon. You have nothing to fear but those thoughts you're entertaining, so stop using your mind and create what's possible instead. So anytime that you have any kind of an insecurity or fear or a demon talking in your ear, switch that energy over to what is it you want to have show up, That's another way to deal with these demons. Watch the beginning of the Ask Amy Q&A if you want to hear the talk, but that is a great way to deal with demons, is figuring out what it is that they're trying to evoke in you. What are they trying to get you to do, or what are they trying to get you to feel? And then intentionally feel the opposite. Oh, they're trying to make me depressed. All right, so I'm going to put on some music and dance around and be excited and be really happy. Oh, they want me to feel like my dreams will never come true. So go, make a vision board, start dreaming, start meditating on all these wonderful things that you want to show up. You know what I mean? You got to work deliberately against them. Okay, we're your biggest fans. We believe in you and we know what you're capable of. Stop doubting yourself and know that you can't mess this up. You were born for this. So you're very well probably one of the chosen ones, because you have all the, anybody who's got a lot of black magic on them right now, you're a very special person. and you're going to have incredible things happening in the days ahead. So do not be disheartened by that, okay? Like if you're being attacked, you're a good person and good job because you're standing out enough that the demons are going after you. They're not going to bother with spineless people who aren't going to do anything with their lives. You know what I mean? They're going to go after the ones that they know will make a difference. So take it as a compliment. Your objective right now is to continue your healing work as everything else is being worked out behind the scenes. Just focus on you. I love that. So remember, it might be a reminder to do Byron Katie's work, or whatever you want to do your own healing work. Pray for an epiphany so you can gain valuable and beneficial insights, and pray that it be made obvious. Sometimes I say that. Sometimes I'll just be like, God, could you smack me in the face with it, please? Because if I don't think, I want to make sure that I don't miss the boat here. I want to make sure that I don't choose the wrong guy, right? Just be like, make it obvious, please, God. Just make it really obvious that I feel completely comfortable and I trust them completely or whatever. All right. Shishishi no tota sasai. Oh. So they said that you have some really, really incredible times coming ahead. So to keep focused on that, just keep going towards your goal. Paint a picture for yourself of the life you're creating for you and your kids, and you're going to be making it happen. And you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle, and you're not being bad at having those boundaries that you've had. Okay. 2. I've been seeing a lot about Texas. Also, a divine masculine was included with this. I heard it on TV in Texas, and his name was said multiple times. What is the clear significance or message trying to come through here? Okay. That's funny. Maybe you're going to be moving to Texas. Okay. Why shishina turosase? Oh. I get that he's still an option. Don't give up on him. Is it possible she could be moving to Texas? Yes. Yes. And he's thinking of you just as much as well. Should she reach out to him? I get a no. Will he reach out to her? Yes. He'll reach out to you. So maybe it's so that you get, you're kind of not your feet wet, but you get you get a taste for him right now. So that when he calls you, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I've totally been thinking about you. And it can be like a really cool thing, rather than what? Why am I hearing from you? Like, how weird is it? Sometimes just like the precursor that we were talking about before, you date somebody who gets you ready for someone else or something like that. But, yeah, it feels like you guys might actually have an opportunity together. Would they be a good together? Yes. Has he learned a lot? Yes. Is he the kind of guy that she deserves right now? Yes. Okay. I want to look at, where do I have them? I want to look at the daydream cards and see what he thinks of when he thinks of you. Sorry, sweetie. Don't be jealous that I treat my animals sweetly. I do have really bad people who watch my channel sometimes, and they just hate it. They hate that I'm nice. They hate that I laugh. They hate everything about me. They honestly want me dead. I'm just like, okay, go ahead and try. Goodness gracious. You could heal too, You can have a sense of humor too. Jeez. Grow up. Oh, Lord. I don't think I'm all that special. Give me a break. That's pretty jealous to want somebody dead. And that's also somebody who's very threatened by you. Good Lord, these guys. They make no sense. Okay. How best to overcome any bad habits to live more authentically with a clear lens? That's pretty cool. So he's getting serious about you in his head. He's like, I better drop some bad habits so I can be authentic for her. How perfectly you fit into and complement his life. Taking you out for dinner or doing something fun. He's thinking about that right now. How crazy it would be how cozy it would be to curl up and read a book together. But I said crazy, like he's like, oh, that'd be amazing. Making love to you in a memorable way, wanting to kiss you so bad, looking at a picture of you and his heart is swooning, wanting you to know his kids and or pets and having a great time, being playful to warm up to you, to tell you deeper truths later when he's more comfortable, showing you gratitude for everything you've done for him. You've made such an impact in his life, and how your laugh tickles him to his core. Okay. Um, 3, have been getting signs and synchronicities regarding a past divine masculine. Another one, what does God want me to know regarding this? Okay. The signs and synchronicities usually say that that is a person for you, like that is a possibility, and that they're thinking of you too. It doesn't necessarily mean they're the best for you, none of it does. It just means that it's possible, and it also keeps your hopes up, like it's possible somebody's coming. So it's like keeping your heart open. Kind of, yeah, well, sort of a dangling carrot, keep coming this way, keep coming. Oh, I didn't switch out the thingy. I'll switch it out now. Okay, even though it's really late. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm at shishi nataro ai. I do feel that he's got a little ways to go, but he's got you on his mind a lot. He's really trying to shape and form his life to kind of earn you in a way. Like it's like he wants to show up at some point and be like impressive. Hey, got this job. I did this thing. I'm working at this. I live in this area. I know that you would love this. Like, ta-da! Here's your new life. So it looks like kind of like the last reading and myself. Like a lot of people have like quite a few suitors that they're just kind of like, okay, hello, anybody home? Um, but these masculines, they'll go years like that, thinking, plotting, and planning, and putting a whole life together, and then they'll come say ta-da. And I mean, what better time to say ta-da, I guess, than soon? Like, because the whole world is going to be flipped upside down, and there are energies, at least there are current energies. If you watch Steve's Love Tarot, that there's an opportunity right now for masculines to put their egos away and actually see the truth for what it is. So that's a very encouraging energy. And maybe you'll hear from all of them. Who knows? And then you can, I don't know what's better. I mean, it's just going to play out how it plays out. You just got to trust God and just keep praying. God, thank you so much for bringing the perfect person for me, and not even having anybody with any ill intentions even approach me. Just bring somebody who's kind and loving and honest to the table. That's pretty much all they need. Kind, honest. What else? I mean, yeah. The divine feminines really don't need anything. That's the cool part. The masculines think that that's bad, but it's not. That's what you want. You don't want somebody who's going to manipulate you because they need something. So anyway, all right. Well, I hope that helps, and I'm sending you big hugs too. All right. I just put that up. I'm taking it down. Let's do little talk for this next person. Little talk. I need to put my other board back up there, huh? Okay, 6252. 6252. She says, hi, Amy. I hope you and everyone else is doing well during all these crazy times and attacks. Yeah, my question is, where do you see me with my career in the next 3 months or so? I'm starting to look around for a new job, but not sure what I want to do for a new job. My current job is rehiring for a promotion that I didn't get a few months ago. I'm thinking about it. If I stay at my current job, if I get that, I also have started investing more of my time in my wellness program that I enrolled in, that I really enjoy and want to turn into a career. I'm just a little unsure of what to do with my career lately. Thanks for helping me with this. Okay. Should she stay at the place she's at? For now, if you want to make ends meet, yes, but I don't think you're going to stay there. I definitely could see you doing the wellness program for sure. So I would dive into that, and I would let your other job pay the bills and pay for you to learn all about the wellness thing. So I would do both of them at the same time. And I do feel that you could get that promotion. Let me feel into what you could do to get it this time that, maybe that didn't work out. Ouch, my heart. Wow. Somebody's wanting your heart to break. Somebody's putting black magic on you that your heart's going to be that you're going to be heartbroken. Awa shishi na tuta hake e san se wo shihi in. Tu sa sa se no tura ke in ta tapa pubu oma oma ona turo ta zen. Ta ha shishi ke wo ha. Oh, oh, okay. I just did that for everyone in the world. Anybody who's being attacked with black magic, that I just took all those people away and put them someplace very special. Go after your own dreams, people. Go pursue your own. Quit stealing other people's stuff. Jeez. Tiwa sana awa ke shishi no tuna ai. Wa ha ha. Oh, that's interesting. You're not going to believe me. I would start studying positive reinforcement if I were you. And I don't know how this could possibly be possible. I don't know how you would wind up doing this, but it kind of seems like you're going to be working with marine mammals. And that, like, what? Out. Marine mammals. Like, I saw you as like a trainer with dolphins or something. Like, you're like giving these dolphins, you're throwing them fish and stuff, and you got like a little treat bag, and you're like working with these large water animals. So but I feel like you do the wellness career first before you transition over to that. So I feel like it's more important, like, rather than you have the degree, it's more important that you know about positive reinforcement. So, but you have a dog, so that's perfect practice, right? So maybe study positive reinforcement and go after the wellness thing, and then everything will just kind of fall into place. In the days ahead, we're not going to need certification for certain things anymore. We're just going to need the desire and the willingness to be taught by a mentor. That's it, So maybe some kind of thing comes through like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So the best thing that we can do when we're in an uncertain place like that is just go toward what brings you joy, whether it's related or not. Just do what you really, really love. What do you feel inspired to do? What do you feel excited to learn about? And go learn about that. Because God's going to keep putting all the pieces together and bringing them closer and closer together until they click, right? Until it makes your perfect puzzle piece. For a perfect puzzle all put together is you. Your whole life you're putting all these things together, but you have this little puzzle piece here and this one here, this one here, this one here. So the more you can be, this brings me joy. This brings me joy. This brings me joy. This brings me joy. I like doing this. I want to go to a party. I want to go to this gathering with people there. I want to go to the park today. I want to walk my dog today. Like, do all the things that you're enjoying to do moment to moment. And it's all going to start putting the pieces together. And the perfect person with the perfect opportunity walks by you in the park while you're walking your dog, or somebody calls you because they were thinking of you just randomly, and it's because something related to something that gave you joy over here. It's like It's amazing how the universe kind of interweaves everything together really synchronistically, magically. And it really doesn't matter. Like I hear people saying, well, I'm single and I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I never go anywhere. That doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. And not even, I'm not even going to put all the logical reasons why that could happen. I'm just saying I've seen incredible miracles happen where people get together out in the middle of absolute nowhere and against all odds. You can't keep something that's meant to be apart. I don't care what kind of excuse you try to make. You know what I mean? So, just keep doing what you enjoy. Just keep doing what you love. And then just use your job right now to get ahead. Oh, I was going to feel into what you need to do to get the promotion. Well, I think they can tell. I think they can tell that your mind wanders off to other things that you would rather be doing. So I would one thing you can do is go now to your boss. I don't know how far the promotion is down the road, but ask your boss directly. I really want that promotion. How do I get it? Like what do I need to do to prove that I'm worthy of it or whatever? And they'll be like, "Oh, wow, that's pretty bold of her to ask." And they'll be impressed by that and be like, "Okay, well, here's what you would need to do, and you'd have to be willing to work extra hours and do the da. Because the last thing you want to do is, dump the pay to go on this thing. Because whatever your passion is, you're gonna need to have something that makes you feel safe and secure money wise while you build something else. You know, I wouldn't, it's way too stressful to just cut out your income and then just put all your faith into making this happen. You'll probably fail. I mean, because you got to give things time and you'll be so stressed out that you'll sabotage yourself. You really do have to kind of pay attention to how you're feeling. If you're going to feel scared, I mean, if you're able to just dump the job and have complete faith and stay in a high vibration and not go into lack at all, you'll be fine. But most people, if they aren't bringing an income after a certain while, they're going to get very, very nervous, very, very nervous. So I just think it's a good idea to transition to something new. So I would keep your job and I would just keep building a plan of how you're going to become that wellness person that you want to be or do. Okay. And don't even worry about how you're going to become a marine biologist or whatever you're going to be. Or marine trainer. I don't know. Don't even worry about that because, like I said, like things that are meant to be, they will find their way to you. You don't have to worry too much about that. All right. Okay. 6253. This is the last question. Thanks for hanging in there with me. We've talked about a lot today. Okay. Hi, Amy. I just received a positive pregnancy test. I was wondering if you could tell me anything I need to know about the pregnancy. It's with a partner I haven't known for a very long time. It's with a partner I haven't known for a very long time. Now, how does that happen? And I'm experiencing the common internal conflicts of receiving this news. I have a lot to offer this world. I'm quite young and don't want to lose myself to motherhood. I also feel connections to men from my past. And ultimately, I'm thinking, how will all this turn out? I would really appreciate your insight. Wow, that's interesting. You really want to know everything? I'm nervous to tell you like the sex of it because I don't want to, that's always a wonderful surprise to go through. Um, but let me see. Sheshe, wahena, I ho. Tu wahena, tatin sa sa sishu wahin. Tutatan sese. Well, you'll definitely have to let the dad know. I would definitely do that. I feel like he'll probably want to be a part of the child's life. I don't see you aborting it. I do feel like you could get support. You could have I don't think it's going to sabotage your career. I don't think it's going to I think you'll love it. I think you'll absolutely love being a mom. And I think that you could still work at your other goals while I think that your child's going to be very mature. Maybe it's one of those crystal children or something, but I feel like your child's going to be pretty brilliant, and funny, and just wow. Don't you work with children? I think you work with kids. But this kid is really going to I don't know, you're going to be in awe of him. And there's blue right here. I mean, you pay attention to the signs. So yeah, yeah. And I just looked at blue again. I think it's a boy. I think it's a boy. So and a very, very cute, funny little boy. So let's see. I think he likes things in the sky, like everything having to do with the sky, like the sun, the moon, stars. Uh, yeah, he loves things even up in the air, birds and anything that flies. But to us, say, um, I see you more going with one of those guys in the past as a dad, like as a stepdad, I guess. I see you marrying someone else, not the dad, but somebody, but I do think somebody from the past is going to come back, and I think you guys will be very happy as a family. 这这算在说我日了。Hmm. I'm just wondering what I'm transmuting with all the yawning. I mean, I know I'm getting attacked too, so I'm probably just like warding off the evil because the headaches are going away, and then I mean, I'll get a headache and I'll yawn, and the headache's gone. So sometimes I just can't see what I'm subconsciously doing. As sometimes you do this stuff when you do it as much as I do. Sometimes it's just consciously going like that in the background. Remedy. Remedy. Huh. This seems a little off subject, but they're wanting you to there's a book called UCC Connection on Amazon. There's also one called Meeting Your Straw Man, I think. They're by the same person. They have the same cover. And then there's another one like Learning Common Law or something. I think you should get those books. They're only like $5 each, and they're a fairly short read, but they're packed full of information. But the first thing they're telling you right now is when you sign your signature on any kind of legal document, make sure that you put underneath your signature without prejudice UCC 1-308. And it basically says, I'm signing this, but I'm not agreeing to anything behind it that I don't know about. Anything you're trying to compel me to do that I'm not privy to, I do not agree. But it's also important that we write that underneath or above our signature to show that we are reserving our rights. If you haven't put that on a document yet and they come after you, then you don't have a leg to stand on. But if you've been writing it on papers for a while, or if you have it on a stamp or something, that's definitely intent to have your rights reserved. So you want to start, maybe order a stamp. So you could always say, look, I've got a stamp even. I've been putting it on everything. Every letter I put out, I put it on there. Every time I sign my name, I put it on there, you know. I even wrote it. You know how they make you sign something when you take a deposit out or you take money out, withdraw something, they'll have you sign that. I even write it on there. I'll just be like without prejudice, or I'll say UCC 1-308 because they're trying to get you with that too. Anything that you have to sign, they're trying to get you. They're trying to get you to contract into something or agree to something you're not aware of. So yeah, for some reason I feel like you need to do that. I don't know what kind of things you're going to be signing coming up, but yeah, they're saying put that on there. Um yeah, so that was an interesting side note. Um Iba Hawaiian. So your boy loves blue. He loves the ocean also. So anything blue. That maybe that's why he likes the sky so much. Blue. Blue, dark blue, light blue, any kind of blue. Hawashi shi natraike. Oh, space and ocean. Space and ocean are like his favorite things. Pewahi natarisa huhuaike. I don't think it's going to be the bad thing that you think it's going to be. Like, I think that maybe you've seen some movies or things and people's lives getting kind of destroyed by having kids or whatever. But I feel like this little kid is going to make you laugh and you're going to be so glad he came into your life and you're going to be like, you saved me. You saved me from myself. Like, almost like your life would have been ruined without the kid. So, yeah, so I would also do my exercise. Thank you, God, for my misery, and just write down all the benefits and advantages to having a kid before you felt you were ready or before you had a family or before you had a husband. Sometimes things just don't work out in the order that you plan them to be, but it's the absolute perfect order. So there's pros and cons to everything, but I mean, it's something very sweet if you have a mother who's already bonded to her child, and then the man comes along and says, "Wow, look at those two." He could fall in love with both of you, just like, "Oh my gosh, look at how cute they are." Where he wouldn't have the same opinion of you necessarily if you didn't have the kid. You know what I mean? It's just weird how that works. Um, your kid helps him fall in love with you or helps the whole dynamic is better somehow. So that had to happen in that way for him to see you in a certain light or whatever. So, all right, there we go. Let's do our general blissing now. I hope that helped and gave you a little bit of hope with that little one. All right. So everybody just relax and drop your shoulders and think about something you'd like to have happen or that you want to wish for, hope for, dream of. If you want to stop something, like a comet or whatever you want to do, whatever you would like to accomplish, as long as it doesn't violate anybody's free will and as long as it's, um, yeah, something good, then it's going to amplify the energy of it. This does not work for black magic. This does not work for anything negative. Doesn't work for any kind of dark magic baloney, jealousy or anger or any of that. Okay. And you cannot use my voice either. Okay. I do not consent and I do not give you permission to use my voice or to taint my videos either, or to affect my business or to steal my dreams. Do you hear me? Gosh, silly. All right. Hawa shishin shehewa ahela san se pihu mana tarakehela a. Shishipuhuma no trosa sa sela a. Ah. Trosa sa se no toshu shishipepe membepe no tro Okay, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Sending y'all a big hug, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.